What's going on, everybody? It is the one and only Q here from Retro Q Gaming, and today I have some good or bad news depending on what camp you sit in. So, The Last of Us Part 2, depending on what camp you sit in, this could either be a masterpiece or a disaster piece, has pretty much been confirmed by Neil Druckmann. Yes, I even used his correct name. That there will be no DLC for this game, or at least right now there are supposedly no plans for DLC. You can't trust anything these people and these companies say, of course, and even if it was true, plans do change, so take it with a small grain of salt, but for all intents and purposes, we have 99% confirmation that there will be no single player expansion, no single player story DLC, no anything like that for The Last of Us Part 2. Now, we'll just use this as a quick comparison. Depending on how you feel about the game, this could be very bad or very good. Personally, I say very good because, well, The Last of Us Part 2 was awful, and the last thing I want is any more of it. But when you go back and look at Left Behind, the DLC for The Last of Us 1, that was pretty good. It was relatively good. At least in comparison to the main story, it fit in very well. Personally, I would have hoped that in the case of the first game, in the remastered one at least anyway, they give the option to fit it in chronologically into the main game, so each one would have fit in where they did instead of just being separate and all over the place. But the point is that despite whatever you may have thought of The Last of Us 1, the DLC Left Behind, and The Last of Us Part 2, you have pretty much no DLC to look forward to, or not look forward to, or however you feel about it. And this is a perfect time to make a small little segue into Sony's kind of business practice, or how their game design focuses. When you think a lot of the big Sony games, the first party ones and third party ones, or should I say first party and multi-plat in the likes of Horizon Zero Dawn, which obviously has an expansion pack, but look at a lot of their other big games. Let's say The Last of Us Part 2, for all we know, Ratchet and Clank, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man. I'm sure there's many others that I don't know about. But it makes you wonder what the bar, the threshold, the consideration, the markers, whatever it is, for a game like these to get DLC. Do they have to sell a certain amount of copies? Is it planned well in advance? Is it a possibility until much later? And in situations like this, it makes you wonder just how the DLC will be received. I mean, we all hate the idea that a game was designed and made and then they removed 20% of it to sell it back to you extra later. So finding a balance is very difficult. No one likes to spend 60, 70, 75 euro on every single game and then have to pay another 40, 50, 60 euro on a season pass or DLC. But anyway, let me know how that either rustles your jimmies or tickles your fancy, knowing that there will be no more Last of Us Part 2 stuff.